No matter how many times life knocks you down, no matter how hard the world pushes you to the ground, there comes a moment where you decide, I'm not staying here. That moment is the reason you're still standing. Luffy wasn't born powerful. He wasn't born chosen. He wasn't born a hero. He was just a kid who got back up more times than life expected him to. And that's why he became unstoppable. Every punch he took, every scar on his body, every loss he carried, none of it was enough to break him. Because Luffy understood something that most people spend their whole life running from. Strength doesn't come from winning. Strength comes from standing up after losing. That's what made him different. He didn't hide his pain. He didn't pretend he wasn't hurting. He felt everything. He cried, he bled, he failed. But every time the world tried to crush him, he rose with something stronger than power purpose. And you're the same. You don't keep going because it's easy. You don't keep fighting because you always believe in yourself. You keep moving because something inside you refuses to stay broken. Maybe you've been betrayed. Maybe you've been ignored. Maybe life didn't give you the support you deserved, but here you are, still standing, still breathing, still fighting. And that alone makes you dangerous. Luffy's strength didn't come from muscles. It came from heart, the kind of heart that says, if I fall today, I'll rise tomorrow. If I break, I'll rebuild. If I lose, I'll return stronger. That's your story too. The world hasn't seen your final form yet. Your journey isn't over. Your fight isn't over. It only takes one more step, one more push, one more refusal to give up to change everything. And just like Luffy, you will. Because no matter what happens, you are still standing. There's a truth people don't talk about enough. Standing tall doesn't mean you never collapse. It means you've collapsed 100 times, but you refuse to stay there. And Luffy? He had every reason to quit. He lost people he loved. He watched dreams shatter in front of him. He stood against enemies he had no chance of beating. He walked into storms with nothing but his will to keep him from breaking. But that's exactly why his story hits so hard, because it mirrors your life more than you realize. Think about it. How many days did you wake up feeling empty? How many nights did you lie awake thinking you're not enough? How many times did you tell yourself, you'd try again tomorrow, but tomorrow never felt like it came? That feeling, the weight pressing on your chest, the heaviness behind your eyes, the silent battles no one else sees, that's your Marineford, your Dressrosa, your Whole Cake Island. Those arcs didn't just test Luffy's strength, they tested his spirit. And life is doing the same thing to you. When Luffy was knocked down, people doubted him. People laughed at his dream. People called him crazy for thinking he could ever become something great. But here's what made him different. He didn't need the world's permission. He didn't need validation. He didn't need anyone to tell him he could do it. He believed in the future, even when the present was falling apart. That's the struggle you're fighting right now. Trying to move forward when everything inside you pulls you back. Trying to hold on when the world keeps slipping through your hands. Trying to stay strong when you feel anything but strong. But listen, every time you rise after a breakdown, you become someone heavier problems can't crush. Every time you wipe your tears and try again, you become someone failure can't intimidate. Every time you stand back up, even shaking, you become someone life can't defeat. And that's why you're still here. You're not standing because you're fearless. You're standing because you refuse to stay down. Just like Luffy. He didn't become the future pirate king by being perfect. He became it by not giving up on himself when the world expected him to. And right now, you're living your own arcs, your own pain, your own battles, your own tests. But remember this, the struggle you're facing isn't a punishment, it's preparation. Preparation for the person you're becoming. Preparation for the victories you haven't reached yet. Preparation for the version of you that will look back on all of this and say, this is why I'm strong. You're not done. Your story is far from over. And in the middle of all this chaos, all this pressure, all this silent pain, you're still standing. There comes a moment in every story where the hero finally understands something that changes everything. For Luffy, it wasn't some miracle power-up. It wasn't luck. It wasn't destiny. It was this realization. If I don't stand up now, no one will do it for me. That's the moment his whole world shifted. Not because the fight got easier, but because he got clearer. And you're at that same point right now. You spent so long blaming the pain, blaming the timing, blaming the circumstances, that you forgot something important. Your life doesn't change when things get easier. Your life changes when you do. This is your turning point. Right here, right now. Not when you get motivation. Not when you get support. Not when you feel ready. Because Luffy was never ready when the world demanded more from him. He just made a choice. A simple, powerful, dangerous choice. I'm not backing down anymore. That's when he stopped running from the pain and started running through it. That's when he stopped waiting for the world to understand him and started becoming the kind of person the world couldn't ignore. And that's the realization you need too. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need one thing, a reason to stand back up, even when standing hurts. Because once you decide, you're done giving up on yourself. Life has no choice but to move. This is the moment your story shifts. The moment your arc takes its turn. The moment the old version of you begins to fade behind the fire in your eyes. Remember, you don't rise when life gets gentle. You rise when life hits harder and you still choose to fight. And just like Luffy, you're done falling. You're done doubting. You're done waiting for permission. From this moment on, you're standing because it's who you are. Not because the world is kind, but because you're unbreakable.